COVID. Man, first of all, I just want to pray for everyone that is currently struggling with it, or has struggled with it, or has known someone that has struggled with it, because it's, with the cases rising again, the worst seen since the pandemic started. It's really scary. So I implore you, please wear your mask if you go out, but if you can, other than if you go to work or essential places, please just stay home. Try to do your part. I know we have Thanksgiving and all these things coming up, but this is pretty serious, and it's a lot of the topic today because it's affected UNLV football, basketball. We're gonna get into, I'm gonna try and keep it positive and stuff. We're gonna recap some of the games. Look forward to the Running Rebel season, as well as recap Raiders still on a 4-game winning streak. So we'll get into all of it. Actually, 3-game winning streak. Episode 17 of Heat and Low begins now. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's jump into our first COVID story involving UNLV football. They were supposed to travel to Fort Collins, Colorado to take on Colorado State tomorrow, but that game has been canceled and will not be rescheduled. There were some COVID cases on UNLV's faculty, and so the team, obviously out of safety protocols, decided not to travel and will not play that game. That was going to be UNLV's 5th game, but again, they will not be playing it this weekend or at all this season. And, there were some concerns. There was a report that it might be canceled, but then that was kind of dismissed. But then on Wednesday, it was official. So, obviously, safety first and foremost, just, praying. And, my hearts go out to everyone that is affected within the UNLV organization. Hopefully, just recover. I mean, that's the biggest issue. Football comes second to that. So, but I would like to talk about their last game that they had against San Jose State. Yeah, they have similar names. Give me a break. So UNLV did fall to 0-4. San Jose did improve to 4-0. So one remains unbeaten, the other remains winless. But from UNLV's side, Coach Arroyo did switch it up this game. He's been playing Max Gillum for the first 3 games. Decided to go with Justin Rogers as the primary quarterback. Max Gillum did get a couple of snaps, but Rogers was the main guy. He finished 12 of 18, 162 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown was to Kyle Williams, his first of the year, and actually it was Rogers' top target. He targeted Williams 9 times, Williams had 9 receptions for 110 yards. And to me, I watched the game. UNLV, San Jose would kind of go ahead, get some comfort, and then UNLV would kind of strike back, get within one score. But to me, while I was watching it, the defense is what the issue is. The offense looks pretty fluid. Charles Williams, the running back, he, had a great game. Getting through some of the holes. Justin Rogers really looked good, and I think, if I'm Arroyo, I might give him a second chance next game. Just because he's more athletic than Gillum. And I think for Coach Arroyo, I was thinking about this. Now, the offense being more versatile, being just on point, I think that works to Arroyo's credit because he was the offensive coordinator, at Oregon. So I think it makes sense that from the offensive side, you're starting to see some schemes, some trick plays, some things that he's brought over from Oregon. But I think the criticism with that is Oregon is not known as a defensive team. Now, obviously, it wasn't Arroyo's part at Oregon. He only, was dealing with Justin Herbert in the offensive side. But I think here, I know he said at the beginning of the season, we're just going to have to find defensive schemes that work for each team. I think, obviously, hey, I'm willing, this is his first year. Sorry, something just touched my leg, and I thought, I'm sorry. got freaked out there for a minute, but it's okay. It's just a bag. Um, but yeah, so I think the defense is really what's gonna be need to be worked on, especially in the off season. Bring in a good defensive coordinator. I know the excuse right now is UNLV is young, but I think going into year two, and I hope Arroyo does win one game. I do think that will be against Wyoming. I think they would have had a chance against Colorado State, but obviously that game's not going to be played. So I do think they'll have a chance against Wyoming, and that game is next Friday on Black Friday. So should be one heck of a game there. But I think for Arroyo, after this season, when you analyze everything, you can look at it and be like, the offense looks pretty good. I think decide on a quarterback, but they look pretty fluid and everything. I think the problem is you need to go out, get a defensive coordinator, because going into year two, people are going to start expecting a little bit more because it's like, okay, you've been with this group for 1 year. We're willing to give you a pass, or at least I'm willing to give you a pass. And I think everyone should be willing to give him a pass for this year. But I think going into next year, that's something that I'm watching, because UNLV has given up a lot of points every game. Gave up 34 in this one. So that's something that they need to work on. But from the offensive standpoint, it's really been looking good. And again, if I'm Coach Arroyo, I would give Rogers another chance next Friday against Wyoming. Kind of see what he can do. Gillum being the senior, I think he's here for this year and then he'll be gone. So I think for Arroyo, start exploring other options, and I think Rogers is a great option. But again, we're going to have to get that defense under control. Okay, so I forgot to mention, with all this, COVID on my mind, that before the game's cancellation against Colorado State, UNLV Athletics did decide not to have fans for the final two home games at Allegiant Stadium, which is next Friday against Wyoming, and then the following Friday, December 4th, against Boise State, because Allegiant Stadium has been open to allowing UNLV fans into the stadium and not Raider fans, but UNLV has announced that will be no more the rest of the season. With the cases, rising again, I think it totally makes sense. And then obviously we saw, the game has been canceled. So it totally makes sense. Just wanted to give you that update. And as we move into basketball now, same thing. UNLV has decided that the start of the basketball season will not have fans. It's not yet said whether the whole season is going to be like that, but at least the start of it will not have fans. Again, totally unacceptable. The NCAA has come out and said that the March Madness tournament will be held in one location. Usually it's held in several places. See, now COVID's got me all messed up. But it's usually held in several places throughout the country before the Final Four gets played in one location. But the NCAA did say, nope, the whole tournament, hopefully if we have a tournament this year, will be played all in one location. Totally makes sense. So again, COVID is hitting everything. It's hitting college really bad. I think way worse than the professional leagues, and it's kind of jarring if you ask me. So let's jump back into the basketball season. That starts on Wednesday this upcoming Wednesday, November 25th. TJ Otzenberger heading into his second year, and give you a flashback of last year. They finished 4th in the conference. UNLV did 17-15 overall. Finished 12-6 inside Mountain West, so not too bad. But the roster has been revamped. So these are key players that are either lost to graduation or transfers. It includes Jay Green, Donnie Tillman, Amari Hardy, Jonah Antonio, Cheka Dembele, Nick Blair, and Elijah Matro Long. So a lot of players lost. Returning players are Bryce Hamilton, Marvin Coleman, and Czech Mbake. So, some pretty good names, and also, we got some transfers, some players like David Jenkins, who was a redshirt, was coached by Otzenberger before. So exciting new team, and I gotta say, what a schedule that UNLV has. So it starts again at home this upcoming Wednesday against Montana State. Then they have a Maui Invitational in North Carolina, where they play North Carolina on my birthday, November 30th. Then they'll play either Alabama or Stanford, and then a game after that to be determined on December 2nd. And then they have some other non-conference games at Kansas State, home against Eastern Washington, and home against Pepperdine. And then December 20th, they do start conference play. And the way that they are doing this is they're playing each team twice in a row. So December 20th and December 22nd, they will be playing at Wyoming. And then December 31st and January 2nd, 2021, it will be at home against San Diego State. Then they'll be playing at Colorado State, home against New Mexico, home against Utah State, at UNR, home against Air Force, at Boise State, at San Jose State, and then home against Fresno State. And then the Mountain West tournament will be March 10th through the 13th. I know that is a lot to remember. There's a full schedule online so you can keep up, but it's exciting. San Diego State did finish number 1 last year in the conference. They were 6th overall in the country, projected to have a number 1 seed in the tournament. They got a lot of players returning. That would have been exciting to watch, but I think UNLV is going to be exciting to watch, and I can't wait for Runnin' Rebels basketball, baby. Now we're ending with our Las Vegas Raiders 3 consecutive wins after defeating the Denver Broncos 37-12. Actually now are 3-0 inside of the division, and they have another divisional game this weekend at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. But before we get to that, let's recap that game. 37-12, 25-point win for them. Looking good. Derek Carr finished 16 of 25, 154 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. But again, that's because a lot of the legwork literally came from the running backs. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Parker, who man, he might be little, but he is quick and he is a beast. They both had 2 touchdowns apiece, and then the defense came to play. Drew Lock, the Broncos quarterback, he was locked down, ironically. He only threw 1 touchdown and 4, I'm not lying about that, 4 interceptions. Carl Nassib, Nick Kowalski had 1 apiece, and Jeff Heath, the former Cowboy, accounted for 2 of them. So again, the defense came to play, the running backs were on point. So you look at it and you're like, oh, Derek Carr didn't do much. He really didn't need to. Everything else was kind of, taken care of for him. Daniel Carlson, actually, 3 of 3 on his field goals. He improves to 20 and 22, stays in that upper echelon of kickers. I got to say, him, Dolphins kicker Jason Sanders, they're competing to be the best kickers in the league. I know, I gave a shout out to kickers last week, but man, you just gotta appreciate them. You look at it your job's so easy, but there's pressure. I would be a kicker just with how little I am, but I probably miss a lot of them. So credit to Daniel Carlson, he is on his game, and like I said, they are playing the Chiefs, which is another divisional game this weekend. And you look at the Chiefs. They're 8-1. The Raiders are 6-3. The Chiefs' only loss came at the hands of the Raiders earlier this year when they won 40-32. Now, will they do this again? There is some motivation going into this because, first of all, this is a Sunday night game. So it'll be the first Sunday night game. The first one was supposed to be a couple weeks ago when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were coming into town, but obviously that didn't happen. Things got switched around, and probably better because that game wasn't that pretty. So it's a Sunday night game. It should be exciting. If there were fans, it would be really hype, but obviously we're not. Speaking of, so the Raiders, like I mentioned, are the only team to beat the Chiefs. You would think that's motivation enough, but no. Apparently, after the last game, Arrowhead Stadium, where the Chiefs play, the Raiders apparently took a victory lap on their way to the airport, kind of circled the stadium a little bit as to say, like, yo, we beat y'all. And Andy Reid did not take lightly to that. He said they won the game, so they can do anything that they want to do. That's not our style. Oh, okay, so, a little, all right. Now, John Gruden was asked about this, which he responded, "You can find a smart aleck bus driver in Kansas City who made some snide comments when we got on the bus. Maybe that's why we drove around the stadium, to tick him off. This is ridiculous. Next question." So, I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know, if the Raiders did that to kind of rub it in the Chiefs' face, like, hey, we finally got you. To me, I hope it wasn't on purpose, because I think you don't want to piss the Chiefs off. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, I feel like they're gonna come in here on a mission. I mean, the Raiders, again, they're second in the division, which is what I predicted they would finish. They're 6-3. They're looking good. They're on a 3-game winning streak. The Chiefs are coming off their bye. Again, their only loss is to the Raiders. That's going to be motivation enough. Plus, now you have this. It should be interesting. And, if the Chiefs happen to beat the Raiders this time, do they do a victory lap around Allegiant Stadium? Like, what? Victory lap Sunday? What is all this? But as of right now, the Raiders are in the playoff picture. They're sitting 5th in the AFC behind the undefeated Steelers. Obviously, the Chiefs, the Bills, who, man, if you saw that game last week against the Cardinals, that DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, wow, spectacular. But so they're sitting behind the Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, and Colts. And like I said, they're looking really good. I think, this is Derek Carr's year. I've been saying it to prove himself. He's got the necessary weapons, and I think he has. So it should be interesting. We'll see with all the kind of commotion. Oh, I don't like the fact giving Patrick Mahomes extra motivation. He doesn't need it. Come on, Raiders. You win one game. You can't act. You didn't win the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. Like, once you win the Super Bowl, we can victory lap all day. All right. So we got more news with our Raiders. COVID again. Yeah. So that's fun. So actually 7 more players have been put on the COVID-19 list for the Raiders. That includes Clint Farrell. He tested positive on Tuesday, as well as LaMarcus Joyner, defensive back, and then safety Jonathan Abram, defensive tackle Malik Collins, defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins, defensive lineman David Irving, cornerback Isaiah Johnson, defensive end Arden Key, and defensive tackle Kendall Victors were all added to the COVID-19 list. So again, more tests are going out with players that came into close contact with them, but there is a high chance that they will not play in the rematch this Sunday against the Chiefs. Huge losses all on the defensive side, especially after they came off that stellar defensive performance. But again, this thing is real, and it's bigger questions arise from this. So I just wanted to update you with that as well. It's so devastating. 2020, please just get out the way. All right, so before I go, just want to leave you with a couple questions revolving around COVID. Now, you've seen in the NCAA, this last weekend and stuff with football, all these cancellation of games. My question is, and with the upcoming basketball season that was derailed by COVID back in March, again, we didn't have the tournament. Do you think it's smart, for colleges to keep pushing onward with the season, or do you think we should just stop the collegiate kind of sports right now, wait until things die down and then bring it back, or do you think we should just fight through with everything? I don't know. I wanna leave that question up to you. It's very tough. You might not be able to give me an answer, and that's okay. I just want to know, do you think that college sports should be kind of shut down for now, or do you think, hey, I mean, this is something we all got to adjust to and just keep pushing through? My other question is for the Raiders. Do you think the victory lap was intentional or not? That's all I want to know. I think so. I think it was, and I don't know why. I don't know why they did it. Again, they didn't win the Super Bowl. Those are my questions this week. A lot happening, and I will keep you up to date with all of this stuff swirling around. It's crazy. It's a crazy world right now. So please stay safe. Hug your loved ones. I will have a great Thanksgiving. I will talk to you again after that. So